Hi there, Gemini. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Astrogirl, and we're looking at July 20 through July 26. This is actually a big week astrologically. Venus is turning retrograde in Leo, your third house of communication, of siblings, of neighbors, of short trips. And the Sun is moving into the same part of your chart. Uranus is turning retrograde in your 11th house of hopes, dreams, and wishes. So there's a lot happening this week in fire signs, Leo and Aries. And of course, being an air sign, you're very much connected to fire signs. So this week, Venus goes retrograde through September 5. It's not a great time for getting married, engaged, moving in with somebody. They're all kind of on the do not go forward with list. Anyone who gets married while Venus is retrograde is not into astrology, because, it's just not a good time to get married. Like when Mercury is retrograde. Venus is a personal planet that affects us on a day-to-day basis, meaning that when she's out of phase, it does affect us every day. And if you're in a relationship that is actually not a great relationship for you to be in, this is a time when you need to take a break while Venus is retrograde. Maybe go on a vacation with a girlfriend or a mate, or do something where you're not around so much, and really work out if you want to be with somebody or not. It definitely puts the nail in the coffin of the breakup when Venus is retrograde, because it happens quite rarely. Uranus, the planet of surprises and unusual events in your friendship zone, could mean that a friend does or says something out of character that throws you for a loop, and whether or not you can handle it and get past it, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, you can't expect it. And that's going to be in play through the end of 2015. So that's not as immediate as Venus retrograde. This is definitely a time to come to a full stop if you're looking for a wedding date between July 25 and September 6. Venus retrograde is a deal breaker for getting married, as I said. Now remember that. If you've made the plans, obviously you can't back out. But it really is a deal breaker. That's because Venus governs marriages, and no one should tie the knot when the goddess of love is stuck in the past. Since Venus spends the almost entire 6-week period in Leo, this is the time when relationships or money problems could get dramatic. Later on Saturday, Mars clashes with Uranus, and the volatile energy generated by this pair could be unpredictable or even disastrous. Uranus follows suit, turning retrograde on Sunday, and will stay in this holding pattern until the day after Christmas. This gives you a good 5-month period to access your inner rebel. And Uranus is the rogue planet of the zodiac. So this retrograde is the time to do wrong right. And that sounds very much like you, Geminis. Don't be surprised if there's a general showdown, because with this latest retrograde, half the planets in the solar system, Venus, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, are now moving backwards. So we've got 6 planets moving backwards by the end of the week, and that's a lot. That means that a lot of projects are going to come to a stall. A lot of things are going to be put on hold, including relationships. If you've just started dating somebody, you may find that he or she is not available, that you really kind of thought you liked them, but now you're like, I'm not quite so sure. You're kind of on the fence. And you'll probably fall over the side of the fence that's like, let's just forget it. You know how sometimes you meet somebody, go on a few dates, and then you just don't text them back? And that's kind of the end of it. That's what Venus retrograde is going to do. For those of you in a relationship, you may find yourself picking each other apart because everything he does annoys you and everything you say drives him crazy. That's Venus retrograde. You will get to see it in action, and you can make some decisions while Venus is retrograde. Not getting married, though. Have a great week. Great speaking to you. Be kind to yourself, and I'll speak to you again next week, Geminis.